Well, good evening, everybody. It is Sunday night, and this is Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers. If you are joining me, I appreciate it. I know it's tough on a long weekend. You may even be out of town watching. So, anyway, I do thank you for spending part of your time with me. Tonight, we are going to make a Christmas card. It's not a holiday card. This is straight up Christmas, y'all, which really is as it should be, I think. So, before I get going too far, let me be sure that I'm going live. So let me refresh my screen here on the left. What you guys can't see, I don't think, is that my computer's sitting on the left so that I can sort of try to see you. Hi, Paula. I'm glad you're in right now. And when you have to go out, I appreciate the time you spent. Okay, so this is the card I made, and it uses the very wonderful new set in the holiday catalog called Night in Bethlehem. Sorry. Excuse me, Night in Bethlehem, with the matching Bethlehem Edgelits dies. And these are so fun. I really like Edgelits. I don't know about you guys. Hey, Robbie. Hey, Pam. How are you? I like Edgelits. I think they're a lot of fun, and they have a lot of potential use. They're very versatile, I think. So we are going to play with those. And this is the card that we're going to make here. And you can see I have just a simple sentiment and a couple of the Edgelit dies. I've used a silver foil snowflake. Hi, Verna. How are you? Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. And then on the inside, I've done a little sponging of a shadow of one of the die cuts and put a second very nice sentiment. I love this. Became our song of celebration. That's kind of cool. I like that. And then, of course, we have a matching envelope because I just don't like naked envelopes. So I pretty much always decorate them. So let us get started. Don't worry about copying down card cuts or anything. Hey, Christina. Hey, Barb. Appreciate you guys joining. Don't worry about, as I was saying, don't worry about taking down card cut numbers and whatnot. This will be tomorrow's post, so you can get those all tomorrow. So I'm going to set this stuff aside just a second. Guys, do you guys know what's so good about tonight? This is the best kind of Sunday ever, because there's no working tomorrow. Hey, Kathy, I'm not seeing your comment, Kathy. Maybe it'll show up here in just a minute. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate it. All right, let's set this aside and show you the card and whatnot that we're going to be working with. Okay, so my card front is a piece of Christmas Around the World paper. This is kind of fun paper because on one side it's bright and cheerful and very, very Christmassy, and on the other side it's really just kind of quiet, beautiful, wintry kind of scene. I like this with the basic gray. Hi, Jean and Sharon and Judy. Appreciate y'all joining. Thank you, Christina. We have a piece of Whisper White and a matching Smoky Slate matte for the front. And then I have Smoky Slate matte and a Whisper White inner liner. A piece of silver foil that I will use to cut one of the pieces, one of the Edgelit dies, and some basic gray. A little bit more of the Christmas Around the World paper to decorate my envelope flap. And then, of course, a Whisper White medium envelope. Hey, Karen, hang on a second. I'm not seeing people's messages. Hang on just a minute. Well, Karen Finkel, if you can hear me, hi. Hi, Karen K. How are you? Yes, Robbie, you are right. Long weekends are the bomb diggity. Okay, so let us begin, shall we? Let us begin. Here we go. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to do is fast fuse my DSP to one of the Smoky Slate mattes. Here we go. You guys doing something fun tomorrow? I hope. We're going to go over to a friend's. We'll put some ribs on to smoke in the morning. And you can hear me, Karen, but you can't see the comments. I don't know. Maybe refresh Facebook. I don't know. You know, Mark Zuckerberg, you never know what games he's up to. and I can't begin to even imagine. All right, so we're gonna get that on there as close to perfect as I can do. All right, there we go. And next up, I'm going to mat, well, no, I think I'll go ahead and do my sentiment first, just in case I bork it, not that that ever happens. All right, so first we're going to use Blessed Christmas Wishes, and we're going to stamp it in Pool Party. And this is kind of a persnickety thing to do with your Stamp-A-Majig because Pool Party's hard to see. So, you know, one never knows what's going to come of that. Hey, Judy. You had your ribs today and you're going to an Irish pub. Alrighty, that sounds like a good way to spend a day, Karen. I think that sounds fun. We'll put the ribs on tomorrow morning into the smoker, and hopefully they'll be nice and tender and good. Okay, so I'm just getting my Stamp-A-Majig set up right now. As you can see why it's kind of hard, because Pool Party is very, very difficult to see on there. So I am going to, now here's truth in advertising. When I made this card the first time, oh, Robbie, you're kidding. 103? That's not okay. No, that's not okay. So when I made this card the first time, I had my Whisper White cardstock cut, and I had my 2 die cuts cut, and so I did a dry fit and figured out where to put my sentiment. For this version, I'm going to cheat the tiniest bit and just kind of get an idea. I can line it up just like that and kind of swag where I'm going to put that. Just about there. That'll be perfectly close enough. For what? Yes, that's right, for government work. Okay. But I do kind of want it straightish. Kind of straightish would be good. Straightish is always good. So, you guys use your grid paper? So I know that I want the top of my sentiment about 4 blocks down. So now I can run it up like that and bring it down. Yeah, right. Bring it down, kind of keeping it straight. I can make a crooked sentiment quicker than anybody I know. I'm just saying. Because I don't even know why. But I look at it and my eyeball tells me it's straight, and it's not. And it's not. Okay, so we'll go there like that and call it good. Hey, Karen. Phoenix. Phoenix. Yeah, that's why I don't live in Phoenix. Of course, my brother is in Southern California, and it's hot like that there right now, and they're having big fires in Burbank. So that was a little scary. All right, and then we'll just push that down like that and hold it a beat to get a good stamp, and there we go. All right, now we can put this away for 1 second, and then we will fast fuse this to its mat. And then we're going to make a little decoration with my foil snowflakes. Here in just a second. Grid paper, best thing ever, right after that Stamp-A-Majig. Hey Denise, you make crooked paper sentiments too? It's very frustrating. It's really let's see, I was about to put that on crooked. Don't do it. Don't do it, Mary. Don't do it. Come on, come back off of there. Oh, shoot fire, shoot fire, shoot fire. Fast fuse, you have failed me and my family. Okay, we'll just put it on the other side like that. And we'll roll it out. Well, a lot of that will be covered, so I'm going to pretend it's going to be okay. How about that? How about that? All right. 105 in LA. Yep. My brother apparently only has a window air conditioning unit in his bedroom. So, oh, hell no. That just isn't okay. I can't even... I just... Well, I'm flabbergasted by that. I can't even imagine it. I just cannot even imagine it. But he sent me a picture of the fire near Burbank, and that was pretty scary. So, okay. So there's that. You know, by hook or by crook, we'll make it happen. And yes, Karen, that is exactly correct. That is why there are two sides to the paper. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these little snowflakes and I'm going to cut little wedges of snowflake. Well, I'm going to cut little wedges of snowflake with two little points on each wedge. All right, like so. Alrighty, like that. Okay, and what they're going to do is I'm going to line them up. You can see what I've done here on the original card. I've just lined them up along the edges of the sentiment panel. And so let's show you how I did that. I turned it over like so, and I turned it with the correct side upside down, and I'm just going to line them up like this. Well, I'm going to show you how it's going to be first. Okay, bear with me because every time I wiggle, I touch the darn thing, and then it goes cattywampus. And cattywampus doesn't really work so great. All right, so you can see what I've done here. I've lined up the left side of my cardstock with one of my grid lines, and then when I get these adhered, I'm going to put the longer piece aligned with this line on my grid paper. And since I have grid paper on the other side as well, I will do the same thing. And you can also see that I'm bringing about, see this little point right there? That's about how far in I'm coming. So that is what I am using to make my two edges be roughly the same. Larger tip, about 2 grid lines out, like so. All right, and like that. Okay, so now we'll use a little glue to do the same thing, but with actual glue. And make sure I'm putting it on the correct side, because I love that kind of very vanilla look, but it would not be at all good with this card. All right, and then just put it there like so. Don't have to do a whole lot. It's going to stay down where it belongs. And just repeat a mere 8 times. Easy peasy. Like so. All right. Hey Linda, how are you? Glad you could join us tonight. Hope you're having a good long weekend. Alrighty. Make sure we're still lined up. Alright. And number 4 on this side. Hey Wendy. Thank you for joining. Karen, you are correct. I could use tear and tape, but remember the thing about tear and tape is it's a lot like the fast fuse. It's not terribly forgiving. But the liquid glue gives me a little minute or two to kind of make sure it's where I want it. So that's why I like it. I use tear and tape when I need something to really be stout. You know, 3D projects, things like that. But it would certainly also work. You just probably have to be a little better crafter than I am, because I need that minute. I need that minute. All right. Well, you know what, Karen, Linda, hang on just a second. I'm not using the back side of the foil. I am putting these upside down on the back of my panel, and when I turn it over, it will be silver on the front. If it's not, then I've worked it up pretty solid. But I have used the back of these. I love this very vanilla color. I really do. It's very pretty. Very pretty indeed. Okay, everybody, hold your breath. Let's see what we got. Yay! All right. A little bit of a silvery look we have. That's okay, Linda. Fun to see the gadget. This gadget? Maybe? Yeah, this is one of my favorite tools. Okay, now I'm going to use a little more of the glue to adhere this to the front of my card. To the front of my card front, says the Department of Redundancy Department. I could certainly use fast fuse, but I'm moving a little quick, and so I don't want to try to run the fast fuse tape over the top of my not maybe quite as solidly glued down snowflakes. Do the tweezers work for sequins? Yes, they do work for sequins. One thing you do have to be careful of is it's very easy to get glue on the tip, at which time you can hardly get it to let go of a sequin. So when I start to get glue tippy tweezers, I take a little alcohol swab thing like you would use to give a shot, and I kind of clean off that adhesive. So, but yes, they are very handy. Definitely one of those tools I would take with me to a desert island if I was going to go there. Okay, so now I'm going to just line this up pretty much as centered as I can get. There we go. I believe, ladies, that is close enough. Maybe give it a little push that way. Okay. Check the back. Yep, it's lined up. Give it a little rub. Okay, now it's time to make edgelets. All right. So, let me move some stuff because once again, I got too much crap in the way. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to make two cuts. There's two little city edgelets in the Bethlehem Edgelits set, and I'm going to use them both. So let me pull those out. And this one I'm going to cut in basic gray, and this one I'm going to cut with some silver foil. So let me bring Mr. Big Shot over. And I got my foil and my basic gray. Come here, Big Shot. He's such a big shot. Hey, Karen. Yep, tweezers are I just love them. I love them. One of the better things I have ever purchased. As you can see, I need another set of cutting pads. So don't judge. Don't judge me, people. It looks pretty bad. Okay, now I'm going to center that right about there like so. And it's not really, super critical where you put this because it's an edgelet and it's going to cut itself too. Whoa, that one just went crazy. All right, there we go. Yes, Patricia, you do need to start using them. They are a handy tool. All right. I had to force my little dog to go out with his dad to finish taking care of the horses. He was not going to go. Not going to do it. Can't make me. I'm staying with my mom. He loves his mom the best, I'm just saying. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to cut our foil version. Yeah, the cutting pads definitely go quick. And I've heard all sorts of things about all sorts of things you can do with them, and I've never found anything that worked. So for me, they're kind of a disposable asset. If you make a card today, they go pretty quick. All right, Mr. Big Shot, thank you for your assistance. All right. And now we'll poke out our little holes. And yes, I do have the little die brush. I like poking holes. I just do. Can't help it. I like it. I do. I like it. Hey, Patricia. Where is Trinity, North Carolina? Is that anywhere near Columbus, North Carolina? We have a house in Columbus, North Carolina, which is over towards the Asheville side of the world. I'm not familiar with Trinity. All right, come on, little one, come on. Come to Mama. Mama needs a little city. There we go. Now look, here's the thing. The little release holes that are in these dies leave little doodahs on your die cuts, especially when you're using the foil, right? So what you can do, someone told me this, is you can run this back through the Big Shot and your sandwich would be a normal sandwich, just like when you use the die, but instead put a piece of cardstock over the top and that flattens it down. But I don't always like how that looks with the foil. And so unless it's really, really horrible, these little dots, I will leave the die cut the way it is. And on this particular scene, I thought it actually looked like bricks. And so I decided to leave it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Randolph County Hope, Richard Petty. I still got nothing, Patricia. Is that on the east side or the west side of North Carolina? What big city is it near? Is it near Raleigh? Near Asheville? Charlotte? Probably Charlotte, huh? If it's Richard Petty. Isn't that where he's from? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so here's our basic gray little guy. Oops, careful. Careful, Mary. Careful, Mary. Don't do it like you're killing snakes. Alright, and then we'll set those aside. How pretty are those? I mean, they're beautiful die cuts. I love them. This is such a good set. Alright, let's move our little dots out the way. I could actually pretend I'm I'm not even going to fool you into thinking I'm a tidy crafter, because I'm just not. That just ain't so. It just ain't so, and it ain't fitting to fool you. It just, and now, oh, there it is. Okay. It's in the center. Oh, okay. Ah, yes, I've probably driven through there, the furniture capital of the world. All right, so now we're going to pull out our card again. And what I'm going to do is going to put these little seams right here. And I'm going to run them right down to the bottom. Yep, I'm covering the bottom of the mat there. And I'm just going to center that, and then on this other one, on the top one, I'm going to bring it all the way down and just kind of center it on the other die, just like that. And what I'm going to do before I go too much further is I'm going to attempt to locate my sheet of mini dimensionals. Hang on, people. My sheet of mini dimensionals. That's like a coat of many colors, but completely different. And you know what, I'm going to need a little bit here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mini dimensional and I'm going to cut it in half, making it a semi-mini dimensional. And then I'm oh so carefully, with my handy tweezers, I'm going to place them on the back of these two outer palm trees. There we go. Then I'm going to turn them over to be sure that I cannot see them. I can, and so I'm going to give it a little snip here. Well, you know what? I bet you can't even see those. No, you really can't, so we're going to move those around. Hey, Patricia, yes, it's a beautiful set. It really is. I like it a lot. And I'm really glad that Stampin' Up! Will still produce really religious stamp sets. I like that. My political rant for the moment. I really get tired of people telling me I can't say Merry Christmas. I'm sorry, but that's the time of year it is for me, and you know. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to take these off, and then I'm going to use liquid glue for the rest of it. But you can see why I've done that is because those two palm trees are out kind of unsupported by this portion of the card. So it needed a little extra help. Hey, Nyoka, thank you for joining. Hey, Patricia. Yes, ma'am. These are the silver foil snowflakes, and all I did was cut them this direction into 8 wedges, and then I glued them on the back. And if you want to see how to do that, this video, a link to this video will be posted tomorrow on tomorrow's blog. So you can go back and see it. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little liquid glue on the top, the back of the die. Cut like so. All right. Now, I know I have some demonstrators watching. Are you guys going to Onstage in Utah in November? I hope so. All right. So now, remember, I'm going to kind of center it up like that, and I'm going to put it right down to the bottom of the mat of the card front. Okay, like so, right about there. Like that. Okay. Come on, Mary. Sometimes my fat fingers just get in my way. There we go. Like that. Give it a little touch. And that one tried to peek out there, didn't it? There we go. You should have seen me trying to fix this on my original card, because I didn't do that to start with, because I was a dork. So I was trying to stick those under there. Okay, so there's that. And then the other one doesn't need any dimensionals. And hey, Laura, you should really try to go. Karen, you definitely should. Amy Kunders, don't even talk to me. Hey, y'all, just so you know, I'm pretty sure Amy's going to be, you know, like she's already number 78 in the world. So I feel pretty certain she's going to be in the top 20. I betcha. Anybody want to put money on that? I'm going to say top 20, maybe top 15. Yep. Yep. And we are going to, well, pretty much embarrass the heck out of her when she gets called and walks across the stage. There's going to be screaming and shouting and woohooing, and we might spell out her name with our arms, and, you know, I'm just saying it's going to be something to see. Laura, you definitely need to go. Definitely need to go if you can get there. It's a lot of fun. And getting to see the new catalog, which this time will be occasions, is going to be cool. Karen, you best get to Orlando. That would be cray-cray for you to not be in Orlando. Okay, so all I'm doing is just centering this on the first die cut, and I'm running it right down to the bottom like that. And give it a little slide over like that, because I said I was centering it and then I wasn't. So there we go. That's all you need right there, is a little tap tap to persuade the liquid glue that its job today is to glue something. All right, so there's that. And to finish off the front, I've got a couple of little embellishments. I do need to videotape that because it's going to be a thing to see, Karen. And I'll be at least a little skinnier than I am now, so perhaps if I hide behind some people, I won't be too embarrassed to be on video. All right, here we go. Now, this is Pool Party Solid Baker's Twine, and all I'm going to do is secure it in the back with a piece of Scotch tape on that side. Wrap it around twice, like that. Cut the back. Am I going to Orlando? If I can, Jean, you can bet I've been so far to, hey, Amy, haven't I been to all of them since I joined? I think I have. Maybe not the first, well, when I came in, there was just the one a year, I think. So I did go to that first one, I'm pretty sure, in 2015. Wasn't that down in, no, that was the first one. I have no idea. But yeah, I'll probably try to go to the one in Orlando. I missed the first one. What year was that? The spring of 2015, maybe? Yeah. And then I know I went to the one in Tampa, but I can't remember exactly which one that was. I don't know. But yes, I'm going to go to Orlando. It's got two perfectly wonderful things there. It'll be On Stage and Disney World. So yeah, I'm going. Okay, now you see what I just did there? I cut this too small. You see I just did that, right? Okay, but you know what I'm trying to do. I'm making a double length bow here. And just do a quick bow like so. A bow like so. A so bow, as it were, and kind of divide these up. Oh, there was one in Utah, huh? Yeah. But I got to going pretty quick, right? I got to going pretty quick, right? All right, so I'm going to put that there, but before I do, I'm going to put one of the new Year of Cheer embellishments, which I believe the silver one looks pretty much just like the Star of Bethlehem. So I'm going to use a glue dot if and when I find my roll of glue dots, which is right here, hidden. So I'm going to use that. Time to tear off some. Yep, I've been to everyone after that. Yes, ma'am, I have. And they are fun, 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 fun. Okay, now let's see. Do a little bit of measuring, Mary. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. All right, I'm going to put it right about there. Okay. So we'll put that there. I'm going to double it down just a little bit. Like so. And then we'll use a second glue dot to put our bow on right over the top there, like that. There we go. And that little glue dot wants to stick out, so I'm going to stick him down in where he doesn't catch everything on the planet. Give this a little trim. And then, because everything is better with a rhinestone, I'm going to put one on here. Just one. Right there. Like so. And there we go, folks. There's the card front. I think it's kind of pretty. Yes, of course, I am saying that myself, but I do. So, let's put that aside. And now we're going to make an inside. Yes, ma'am, I was going to add a star. All right. Now, reminder what the inside looks like so. And we have a sentiment, which is also from Night in Bethlehem, all in Pool Party, and then some sponging. And let's do that one first. Alrighty. So what I did is I took the piece of cardstock that made my first die cut, this one. And all I'm going to do here is turn this on the side. And I'm going to, thank you ladies, I'm going to use a sticky note on the bottom of my panel. This is my Whisper White panel that's my inside liner. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball. And all I did is, you see the top of this is the tallest of the buildings. So really all I did was kind of center it up and move it down so it would be pretty close to the top. Okay? Stay. And then I take my Pool Party and my wedge of sponge, and I'm just going to go, I'm just barely touching, y'all. Just barely touching. Okay? All I want is a suggestion of the shape of those buildings. Not very dark at all. I'm going to do it again on the envelope front, and that one is going to be a little darker. Why? I don't know, because it's my card, and I can do it if I want it. Alright, so we'll just get that like that, lift it up and see what we think. I'll take that for 100, Alex. And let's put this aside for a second and pull out Mr. Stamp-A-Majig again. Thank you, Sticky Note, for your assistance. And we'll wipe off the first sentiment that you can't even hardly see, but it would be in the way, I promise. And we'll get our second sentiment. Thank you, Terry Lynn. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Susan. And Verna. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I was amazed and mystified that I actually came up with that idea all by myself. I could not believe it. Okay. So this next sentiment, the trick, of course, is making sure you're stamping it right side up. We're going to get good and inked up and set up our Stamp-A-Majig like so. Double check that it is in fact right side up, which it is. Bring back the inner liner. You know, Karen, that's an interesting question. I actually do come up with a lot of cards in the night. You know, in that minute before you're going to sleep, I often get these little moments of, oh gosh, I should do that kind of a card. And I love when that happens because it makes sitting down at the crafting table a heck of a lot easier. This one, though, not that way. It just didn't happen that way. I made this one up as I went along. Completely made it up as I went along. Alright, so we're going to get that sentiment stamped in here. Make sure it's right side up. And hold it and hold it and hold it for a few seconds, and there we go. Pretty good image. I think I will take it. And once again, everything is better with a rhinestone, and who says you can't put them on the inside? It's my card. I'll do what I want. I'm putting it right there, like so. And then I will fast fuse it to its smoky slate matte. Maybe. There we go. Ah! Some days, fast fuse simply refuses to cooperate. Okay, there we go. And, you know, if you get it out here, just kind of give it a push back. Because have you ever heard the saying, the perversity of an inanimate object? Which is kind of an oxymoron because, you know, something that's inanimate can't really be perverse, but sometimes it is. All right. You keep a notebook by your bed. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Because, yes, Linda, many times when I wake up, I don't have a clue what I came up with in the night. All right, we're going to get that lined up better than I did on the first one on the front. And then we're going to put it into my pool party card base. You know what's the miracle about this card, y'all? Is that I didn't make it as a portrait, which 9 times out of 10, I get ready to put it in my card base when I've made it a landscape card, and it's portrait. Okay, so this is your basic 5.5 by 8.5 piece of pool party cardstock that I'm going to score and fold at whatever that half of that is, 4 1/4. And that didn't work out so good. I screwed that up. I'm going to fix that, y'all. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. I'm going to cut me another piece of paper because I don't like that one. Alright, let's try again. Mulligan. I'm calling a mulligan. Won't get quite so carried away with it. There we go. Trying to make my life easier but for the fold, and I made it harder by tearing my cardstock. Nicely done, Mary. Nicely done. Give that a little burnish. And we'll put this in first. Alrighty. Yeah, I actually, Karen, I like, if I can get it, I like a nice sketch challenge and a color challenge all together, because then I hardly even have to think. I can just go right along. All right, now 2 seconds ago, I had my Stampin' Dimensionals Insight. Here we go. And then I'm just going to put the card front on with the larger dimensionals. And this is a pretty good card. It's not terribly thick, so I'd probably still put one of those new butterfly post stamps on it. Thank you, Post Office, for giving us a 2-ounce stamp and making it pretty. That was nice of them. Most of my cards, actually, for all the layers and whatnot that they have, they're not much more than an ounce or an ounce and a half, but I always put that extra ½ ounce worth just because they're thick, and every once in a while, you know, you get somebody at the post office who's a little persnickety, maybe a little crotchety, having a bad day. So I give them a little extra, like a little tip. Make sure I'm putting it on right side up. Not that I've ever done that before. All right. And there we have pretty little Christmas card. What do you think? Nice? You like? Okay, so let's do a quick envelope. Pull out my homemade stencil again and center it up probably about there-ish. Doesn't really matter. You're welcome, Nyoka. This is a great set. I can't imagine not having this set. This was in my very first, I'm not saying I've had a couple of pre-orders, but it was in my very first pre-order. Just throwing it out there. Because I knew I had to have it. Just knew it. Only thing would have made it better is if it had had some pine cones in it, but I don't guess pine trees in Bethlehem are a thing, so. And then I'm just kind of pulling that down to the base of the envelope. Like so. And there is the front of the envelope. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Karen, other Karen, I think this would be a good one for your pastor. I don't see how they could not like it. Okay, and then to finish up, we'll do a quick envelope flap treatment, because that's what we do here at Stamps-N-Lingers. And it's so easy, and it's such a good impact. And you know what? I don't know if you guys have been with Stampin' Up! Long enough to remember, not too many years ago, they had the envelope liners, and I loved those things. They were die that cut a liner for the envelope. And I was a little bit persnickety-pied, pissy even. One could even say pissy when they discontinued that. And then I saw Mary Fish do her envelope flap. And I thought, huh, I can do that. I can absolutely do that. And I actually like it better because, as somebody pointed out, now they get to see the prettiness before they ever even open the envelope. And so I like that. And so I really try to make my flaps pretty. I try to make the whole envelope pretty. And I try to make it kind of coordinate so nicely with the card. That way, this is what they see, probably with a butterfly stamp. And then when they open it up, they have the coordinating card. And you can see I try to keep the inside and the front of the envelope complementary. So there you have it, folks. One each. Night in Bethlehem with the bundled Edgelits thinlits. Perhaps you'd like to purchase this and remember, I've got double peppermint points between now and next Sunday night. So it's a great way to earn up to those 16 that will get you a free $40 goodie. Not that there's probably anything else in either catalog that you would want free for $40. All right, y'all, I will see you next Sunday night. I do appreciate your time. If you're having a party or something tomorrow, please be safe, have a good time, and have a wonderful week. Thanks for your night. Bye-bye.